My name is Daniel. I'm 35 years old. I was in Tamms for a year. I have never violently offended. I've been out of prison since March 13th this year. I remember you, Al. I don't know if you remember me. We was in Dixon together. I have been in prison several times, stealing cars. I was young and stupid. Basically, the reason for me being in Tamms is a correctional officer didn't like me, and we exchanged some words. I called him. I was insolent toward him. He called me a effing nigger and told me that he was gonna get me locked up. So I'm thinking that I would go to SEG or, One morning we got ready to go to breakfast, and this officer, I'm just summing it up because we don't have a lot of time. This officer was on the wing with another officer, and he said that I punched him. He had no physical signs of abuse, and so that's how I ended up in Tamms for a year. I grieved it while I was there. But like I said, the grievance process is really flawed, and so that really serves no purpose. But these things boil down to people like like 2 or 3 people making a decision like that. I don't know what frame of punishment would justify placing a human being in confinement for 23 hours a day. Most people in society would look and say, well, if you're in a supermax prison, you must have done something really bad. But that's not the case, and I was thinking to myself, day in and day out, having to deal with this. I've taken psychotropic medications. It basically boils down to you seeing the psychiatrist and just telling them you're hearing voices or you're seeing things. But I did that to cope with the solitude. Sleeping was an escape for me. So I would try to take as much medication as I could just to get away out of my cell. That was my only retreat. If that isn't inhumane, I don't know what is. But I want to shed light on it. It's not just Tamms, even though we're focusing on that, that's a big thing. But this problem is now becoming so broad because out of all the prisons in Illinois, a lot of them are going to 23 and 1 or 22, and they're locking the prisons down everywhere now. And I don't know why what their rationale is for doing this, but it's becoming like a police state. They don't care about programs. They will tell you, we lock offenders up. We're not concerned about their rehabilitation, or, we just don't have the funding for that. And I don't understand the rationale behind incarcerating somebody 10, 15, 20 years and not providing them any type of services. Since I've been out, I have not found employment yet. I was paroled to a men's shelter on the west side. I was there for 2 weeks, and because I couldn't pay them any money, they kicked me out on the street. So I rode the train for a weekend. I went to Pacific Garden Mission downtown, and I met this guy on the west side of Chicago who, he has a facility. It's called Hiker House, but he has a facility for offenders. And there's only like 3 or 4 guys there, but this guy took me in off the street with no money. And so I've been living there. I walked here today from where I live because it takes, a bus card, even trying to keep minutes on my phone because I've got my resume posted online. I'm intelligent, I'm smart, I'm bright. But these are the type of things that ex-offenders face when they get out. And then you have a lot of agencies that are camouflaging themselves under nonprofits saying that, we want to help ex-offenders and everybody's giving them money and the state's giving them grants, but it's all about the money. It's like they're exploiting offenders that get out because they're really not providing the thorough service that we need. And I'm not making an excuse about it. My grandmother used to tell me that great victories come out of great battles. And so the community that I live in, there's drugs, there's temptation every single day. But I get up and I do what I need to do for that day, and I guess I said at the meeting, happiness isn't so much about having what I want, it's wanting what I already have. And to come through that experience of being in Tamms, all the confinement, and I was literally losing my mind. I don't think that I could have stayed one day longer than I did. And so that isn't right. But it's the community, it's our families that has to hold the Department of Corrections responsible for letting inmates go with $10 and a bus ticket, putting them back on the streets. I have to make a conscious decision every day to do the right thing, and I choose to do the right thing today. I'm not like, the way I felt coming out of there, it's like I'm this beast. They don't differentiate in there between me and a guy who's got 3 murders. I'm in a supermax prison. You know, what am I supposed to say? I'm not like the other guys? They don't acknowledge that. You are a prisoner and you're in the supermax prison, and I'm here to incarcerate you. So I feel like with all my experiences and everything that I'm in tears because I know some guys that have gone through way worse than me. We have the same problem with inmates who have C numbers, who are still incarcerated. They won't let them go. They see a board every year. Al knows a lot about that, but it's the same repetitious bullshit, nature of offense, and these guys are just, they have been model inmates, some of them for 20 years without a disciplinary report, and they go before the parole board every year only to get set and told that you're not going home this year. And they humble themselves and they wait another year and another year and another year. And these are guys that I am definitely sure would not recidivate if they were released. But that's the type of problems that we deal with in IDOC. If, I'm going to shut up soon, but if I had someone to say, you know, here, I'm going to help you see it all the way through. You know, if I'm not willing to help myself, then I don't expect anybody else to help me. But I want to be the type of person, when I finally do reestablish my life and everything is back in order, I want to work with an offender from the day he gets out until he's totally successful. Not I give you a bus card and tell you, hey, and pat you on the back, I hope you find a job. You know, or, I mean, because that's what we're getting here. And it takes more than that. A lot of people have reached out to me support-wise. I go to Narcotics Anonymous meetings, I go to AA meetings. I talk to people as much as I can about Tamms, but about prison in general, because there are so many people locked up. You know, and you got a 19-year-old kid out here who gets caught with some crack, and he gets 12 years. You know, first or second offense. The legislation, period, I mean, prisons have just become big business. And they're all downstate. You know, my family couldn't make it to Tamms, but think about how many people that are incarcerated that they don't have family. So it takes all of us uniting, ex-offenders, lawyers, whoever we can get on our team to bring about some change in the Department of Corrections. It needs to be done like yesterday. So I don't care how much time I have to invest or whatever you guys need me to do, I'm going to do it each day. So I thank you. I appreciate everybody's support. If you have loved ones that are incarcerated, please remember your loved ones. Hold IDOC responsible. Call Springfield if you don't know where they are or they're mistreating them, because if you don't, they do things. But a lot of guys don't have family, you know. So if you could just do that, you know, and now what we're trying to do, we're approaching the legislators and bringing about change. I mean, I think that this is so great, because when I was inside, I didn't know that there were people outside fighting for me, for my cause, believing in me, saying, yeah, you've made some bad decisions, but that doesn't make you a bad person, you know. And I appreciate it. I really do. So thank you all for your support. I mean, you know, there's power in numbers, and as long as we unite and we stand together, I think that we can represent change in the Department of Corrections.